that she's impacted over the years and influenced and instilled values, personally, professionally, and those that she even still continues to stay in touch with today. But that's not it either. Sue has a tremendous resume. She's written a ton of books. She's obviously tremendously sought after keynote speaker, and she's been kind enough to be on our advisory board, as we mentioned earlier, for the past year. But the reason why I think Sue is like the John Wooden of softball, and more than that, really has revolutionized, I think, the growth of young women, is because she is visionary. She absolutely sees where something could be, puts the right people in place, and makes it happen. And I love that about her, because she is a connector, and she is someone that literally inspires me every day. And so I'm very proud to have her as one of my mentors, and I'm really excited that she's our keynote speaker today, and is going to chat with us about some of her life lessons, which I know personally are way beyond softball. It impacts women and men in their career development, in sports, and personal and professional lives. So without further ado, be brief. Be brief and be gone. Sue.
It is such a privilege to stand before you, and I just would like to, first of all, I want to warn you, the coaching will come out. I want to clarify the wonderful comments, thank you. John Wooden, I'm not. I need you all to know that. He was a dear friend of mine. Coach Wooden was a mentor, and he was the first person that told me that you haven't learned how to be excellent full-time yet. He had said that to me when I took my team to Hawaii. We had taken an unpredictable second place, and I was still growing as a leader, and I threw the second place trophy in the trash can. Super embarrassed. Not proud of it, and I remember going home, and we were back page sport then, and had an opportunity to get right to the front page. Place at the UCLA, that's something that we don't do. So, Amanda, you have been a dear friend, colleague, thank you for your comments, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows that I've been a work in progress all the way up until the election here. And I try to live a life of awareness, and what I really want to share with you is just a couple things that really have helped me along the way, and it really circles back to Alex really walking us through the mentoring journey. And what it did is it really illustrated, I got your back. And when women have that 100%, where you have one eye on each other, and at the end of the day, I have your back, and I can look you in the eye and say, I got you. It's amazing how big the room can get. And it's fun to look out here and see people. I see rookies. I see people that are in the middle of the road. I see veterans. And for me, what's great is excellence doesn't know how old you are. And if you get to a point where you can wake up every day and simply be aware of this work in progress, and Coach Wood used to always say that we only have to be 1% better tomorrow. And that was really good for me. That felt good. That felt doable. And what I want to share with you is, in my life, I had the championships. That was all about great pitching and great assistant coaches. But I was raised by a military father and a mother that taught me how to fly and believe in anything. But more than all of those things, I am most grateful, and it's so appropriate. Here we are in November, and I'm a coach member, so it's all about the season. So we're in the celebration season. And I want to digress and just recognize the women that are being honored tonight, because when I look at your bios and I look at your journey, you have amazing different paths to the top. But I really would like to share with you, I believe, the pattern that you all share. And that really is the core of what a champion is. That each and every one of you have that. I'm going to stop you now and just remind you that the core inside of you that allows you to be great is really a product of somebody having your back. And Alex talked about it earlier, but you take a moment to think about who is that person that really affected you, that really taught you to keep moving, to compete each and every day. Whether you're an athlete or not, there's somebody in your life that just went, keep going, you got this. And then there's that person in your life that taught you every single day you need to be a little bit organized in your priorities. Now, I know some of us are still trying to get that together, right? But also somebody that gave you a conscience every day. And I want to stop you and I want you to think about that person. Because when you can constantly live every day and have that gratitude on who has your back, life is like a blast. It's like you will have that skip in your skirt every single day, or your pants. And so at the end of the day, you have those people that influence you on your day-to-day and also on your North Star. And so give a silent sense of gratitude for them. And then you have that person in your life that taught you to get up after you just took a kick in the kidney. You know that. There are days where we go down. We go down every day, emotionally, physically, whatever it may be. But there's somebody in your life that is constantly like, hey, get going. Because excellence won't wait for you. That's the crazy thing for me is I was never the smartest, I was never picked first, I was never the best. But I learned if I paid attention along the way and had gratitude in my back pocket, I could be moving in the right direction most of the time, except in Hawaii, just second place. And I want you to think about failure because we need to get it out of the closet because we're all high performers in this room. And I want you to go for it. I'm here to stop you right now that you're a competitor. You compete every day, every moment against yourself and others. And you're organized day to day. You've got it down. You've got your 3 phones. You've got all your social media. You've got all that going on. And you also have a North Star. Or else you wouldn't be where you are. And the women that are being honored tonight wouldn't be where they are. That being able to recover after failure is a wonderful skill to be able to own and appreciate and have gratitude. Somebody taught you that. That's a learned skill. And last, it's enthusiasm. It's like the gas pedal to be a high performer. And everybody in this room also has that. And so at the end, it's really kind of the core of the champion. Not the kind that wears a uniform, but the kind that just gets it done every day, appreciates every day, that, hey, you know what, I'm going to get better today. And whether you're a male or female, if we keep our language fixated on excellence, that's your language. You don't have to worry about what's going on in the other dugout. For us at UCLA, we always try to create our own bubble. Out of respect for the opponent, we know that we need them. They were just a technicality. We used to always say, oh, look, here comes the formality. That's the formality to start the game. And we do it with respect, but we never get caught looking in the dugout. And people in this room, you've already mastered that. But maybe somebody here, maybe just a coach for a few minutes to remind you, you don't need to look left and right. You already got the goods. So I'm here tonight to just make sure that you take inventory on what you already are, and more importantly, having the gratitude that pushed you in your competitive spirit and helped you stay organized in your effort and helped you get up after you fail. That's part of the dance. The success and failure, they hold hands. You can't have one without the other. And you got to have that juice every single day. And I learned early on, you're not going to wake up every day at 100%. You're just asking you to give 100% of what you have. So some of you are like, going to miss working tonight. And you wake up and you have to get to work tomorrow. I need you to have your toes hit the floor and just tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to give 100% of what I have. There's this idea of, oh, I can be 100% every day. It's not very realistic. And so I honor you, I celebrate you, and I want you to always remember that there are 2 voices in your head. There's a strong voice and a weak voice. And for us at UCLA, we always said, let the strong voice get the last word, especially when you're looking in the mirror. Because we kind of beat ourselves up constantly. But make sure you're aware of that conversation. And that's going to affect the words you use. Start being aware of how you use your words. You've mastered that, you're great at it. And then that affects your behavior every day. Are you the person that kind of walks in the room and they feel it? I bet you are. And then at the end of the day, we measure your behavior over time. It's really your character. It's an interesting stat that you never get to see in the paper, but it's one of the most important ones. So you have that awareness of how you think affects how you speak, and how you speak affects how you act, and how you act over time is your character, and your character is your legacy. And this room is so full of legacy. To stand before you and celebrate that is really fun for me. And I want to, in memory of our month of November and all the great people that have come before us in our lives, it's a great opportunity to celebrate your greatness, but also to have a lot of gratitude. And so I want to share with you a really fun story. I live with my mom, so I'm feeling really close to you. I thought maybe I would share that with you. My father passed away, and I said I'm going to bring in and take care of her for privilege. And you know how we live every day, we're like, oh yeah, I really appreciate every day. I work hard every day, and I really appreciate every day. But when you live with an 88-year-old, you appreciate every day because you wake up in the morning, and I'm like, hi. I'll get another one. So maybe every single day when your toes hit the floor and you take a minute to really give 100% of what you have, look in the mirror and say, you get another one. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was awesome. As always, motivational. So thank you, Sue, and welcome. My name is Erica, and I'm the director of Amstutz for Wildlife Kansas. I just want to give a shout out to the number of men in the audience this evening, and more importantly, it's really wonderful. So thank you, gentlemen, for bringing that. As we transition into the presentation awards this evening, I just want to recap, really what this evening is all about, and it's recognizing the success and achievements of extraordinary women that have made a significant impact in the business of sporting events. Each one of the honorees this evening are visible leaders within the workplace. They've broken down barriers and created new opportunities for those that have followed in their footsteps. They are a facilitator of connections, and they are truly inspirational women. Tonight, they will join a select group of extraordinary women who have previously been honored. These ladies truly embody what WISE is all about. And this evening, as we mentioned, we've got Sue Enquist here, honoree from 2012, and also Julie Selwood from 2010. So thank you, ladies, for being here. This selection process is extensive and it's comprehensive. And we, the Los Angeles board, our advisory board, and also the Los Angeles sports community were important voices and weighed heavily in selecting tonight's honorees. And this year we've done something a little bit different. We've asked 3 individuals that know our honorees firsthand to present them with the awards on behalf of WISE. They really have experienced, again, firsthand what these honorees bring to the sports industry. Some of them have very long working relationships with them, up to 15 years, and have been witness to their success and achievements. And personally know why each one of these outstanding ladies is being honored this evening. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Karina Phillips, who is a dear friend and worked with our first honoree, Lindsay, in many capacities throughout the sports landscape. It all started back in the mid-1990s when they played basketball together. And since then, they have presented together at conferences, served on boards, coached leadership groups, acted as guest speakers for one another, and served as mentors in the WISE Defend Mentorship Program. If anyone has been a witness to Lindsay's many achievements and understands how deserving Lindsay is of this award, it's Karina. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Before I get started bragging about Lindsay, I'd like to thank Alex Nelly. Really has created the foundation for this amazing organization, and she's a good friend of mine, and we now work together and talk to each other every day. And I just want to Lindsay off. She's truly our inspiration as well. Now it's Lindsay. Lindsay Amstutz may very well be the most interesting woman in the sports world. She holds a BA in poli-sci and an MA in communications from Stanford and a law degree from Georgetown. She's lived in LA, the Bay Area, DC, in New York City, among other places. She's worked for the NCAA, the USOC, the NBA, big-time law firm O'Melveny and Myers, the LA Sparks, Fox Sports West Prime Ticket, and currently works at Big Fox. And everywhere she's gone, she's started some kind of a group. Basketball leagues for moms, nonprofits, networking groups. She's a ballerina and a basketball player, a daughter, a sister, and a wife. As the Vice President of Marketing at Fox Sports Networks, Lindsay is responsible for the marketing strategy and initiatives for Fox's 20 regional sports networks. This includes ad sales, on-air promotions, sponsorship activation, and, the most important job of all, accompanying Cletus, the Fox Sports robot, and the various Fox Sports girls all over the world. In March, she headed an initiative to bring baseball spring training to the troops overseas and accompanied current MLB players, Hall of Famers, Fox Sports broadcasters, and the Fox Sports girls to a U.S. Army base in Germany. At the LA Sparks, Lindsay served as Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, where she oversaw everything from PR, community relations, and external communications to game day entertainment and event operations. The real foundation for Lindsay's career in the sports industry came from the NBA's Team Business Development Group, where she served as director and focused primarily on the WNBA. Lindsay essentially served as a consultant to WNBA teams, compiling and sharing best practices, interacting daily with team owners, presidents, and general managers, and directly influencing sales strategies that led to increased attendance, increased season ticket holder retention sales, and lower team expenses overall. This was the job that turned into a career. There is one common theme that weaves throughout the awesome adventures that make up Lindsay's life. Her innate ability to connect people, to influence people, to inspire people, to make their lives better, and to take care of those that come after her. While at Georgetown, Lindsay started a nonprofit group called Get in the Game. And the mission statement consists of 3 tenets. Number 1, provide opportunities and encouragement for women to be physically active, provide meaningful networking and mentoring opportunities among women with common interests, and utilize and contribute the net proceeds to support charitable organizations that help women achieve their dreams. These 3 principles could easily make up the mission statement of Lindsay's life. Work hard, play hard, lead by example, and create opportunities for others. I'm convinced she's been this way since birth. Right, Karen? Absolutely. Her mother, Karen, too. And I would not be where I am in my life without the opportunities she created for me. I often have what would Lindsay do moments, and I rarely make a big decision without her counsel and guidance. I recently saw a quote that reads, successful people are always looking for a way to help others. Well, Lindsay, I would say that you are more successful than you ever realized, and that you truly are a woman of inspiration. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce my dear friend, Lindsay Amstutz. Thank you very much, Karina. Obviously, it goes without saying that Karina is an inspiring woman in herself. And I'm deeply honored to have had her in my life since I think I was 16 and she was 13. And the only correction to that story is that we weren't so much playing basketball together as I was trying to recruit her to join our league. It was a big deal when her and her dad came over to play in our league because it was sort of like the LeBron decision, where she announced on ESPN. It was a really big deal because she was a very talented basketball player and an executive. A few little housekeeping notes first. One, I'd like to apologize for the fact that I sound like a mother.
Allison made fun of me on Tuesday. I've been drinking vitamin water all week long and trying to get rid of whatever cold, so this wouldn't happen, but alas, we're gonna power through. The second thing is I'd like to prove to you, and more importantly to Karen Brodkin, that I prepared notes in advance. So, for those of you who know Karen Brodkin, she was a past honoree and recipient of this award, and she's an incredible off-the-cuff speaker, wonderful. And one of the things that when the fact that I was going to be recognized with this award came out, she immediately announced it to the whole staff, which was great, and then said, "You will prepare notes." Okay. For those of you who know Karen, she is one of the fiercest, most successful negotiators in sports, and I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she brought it up on Tuesday as well. So, with all of you as my witness, I prepared notes with the typed, and there's headers and bullet points and everything. So please report back to her that I did that. Overall, I really want to thank each and every one of you to receive this award in this room from this organization that is comprised of so many members that I have the utmost respect for is truly awe-inspiring. And it's awesome to look out in the room and see so many people that I know and love. And I wasn't planning on building on what Alex did, but it actually is in my prepared notes. Basically, I can look around the room and Karina exhausted my bio, but there's someone in here that represents each of the things that she mentioned. So from Erica and Amy, the big bad law firm, Raquel, who crossed paths at Georgetown and NCAA. Karina's obviously been there through all of it. Felicia couldn't make it tonight, but we worked together at the NBA. Alex and McCall from the Sparks. I can keep going. Definitely, my mom, who's had my back to go coach Enquist since day one, and who's been along for this very fun ride. And truly everybody at this table, Foxworth San Diego, well represented tonight. Good job, San Diego. Henry, Taylor, Phil, Megan, so especially to be there. The rest of the Fox family, including Kevin and Anna, who I've had the privilege of working really, really close to. And as I thought about this award and how the path that I've taken to get here, look back at each of those stops, and the thing that sticks out the most to me are the people. So I don't know about you all, but I don't remember a thing from college. Like, I can't even tell you what classes I took. I'm sure I hopefully learned something because it cost a lot of money. Sorry, Mom. But what I do remember is the amazing people that I met along the way. And they've inspired me, they've pushed me, and learned more from my classmates. And that's really been true for me at each and every stop. Whether it was grad school or any of my other career progressions, it's always been about people that I have found that give me energy, that inspire me, that get me excited. So, what was it, President? To my feet on the floor and give whatever I have. And all of those relationships, are something that I tremendously value. And I by far am not perfect. You can ask all the folks that work with me. I make all kinds of mistakes. But what I do try really hard to do is do what I say we're going to do. Generally be a pretty good person. And one story I'll share with you is a few years back, working for an organization that's not Fox. I looked up at a lot of executives and, man, they're assholes. I made a very, very conscious decision where I was like, I don't want to be them, and sure, they're running stuff, but I don't want to be that person. Like, I just can't, it's not me. And maybe that means that I'm not going to be president, or I'm not going to get some kind of award or something like that. I'm like, I'm okay with that, and I kind of just decided, I was like, that's it, I'm good. But I'm going to be happy, I'm going to go to bed every night feeling pretty good about who I was that day. And I guess what I found, though, is that I haven't had to be that person. I think so many of us, particularly some of us starting out, you think you have to be someone that you're not. Particularly in sales, you think you have to be some phone call salesman. No, you really don't. You just have to be yourself. And luckily, I found that with being myself and with being true to myself, success has followed. And really encourage each of you to, stay true to who you are. It turns out you don't really have to be a drug, at least what I found so far.
I've always been a huge fan of the saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I don't want to generalize to everybody in the room, but I'm going to say for the most part, we're a pretty fortunate group. You know, I'm guessing we have pretty supportive families and friends. Definitely in this room, in our room, we have a lot of love in the room, and we have the great privilege of working in sports. Or as my husband likes to say, I work in the sport department. But I do tell him that it is actually a job, even though I play with robots and hang out with the Fox Sports girls. You know, that's, for me, that statement, you know, I know that I've been given a tremendous amount from an incredibly loving and supportive family, amazing friends like Corinne and so many others. And I constantly think back, okay, you know, there's times lazy and lazy, I still gotta find ways to be able to give more. And, you know, you just push yourself. And I recently read a book, I read the book, Give and Take, besides my table. And let's be honest, I'm no like literary whatever, I just read it because my boss read it. But it's really interesting, it kind of broke up the world into three categories. You're either a giver, you know, matcher, or you're a taker. So takers are exactly as you may assume, you know, takers are just grab and do whatever it takes to get to the top. Matchers are basically that I'll do a favor if you'll do a favor for me. You know, matchers want to be what you do and keep it reciprocal. And then there's the givers. And what the research found is that the givers had the most potential to go as far and to succeed as high, more so than being a taker. You might think the takers make the top, but no, you know, it turns out it's the givers. And I guess that would be my request of each of you. You know, Alex started us out and showed how we're basically all connected, the 6 degrees of Alex knowing. So think about what enthusiasm and energy that we can put into this organization over the next year. I'm very excited to be as part of the advisory board, but what can you do to help somebody else in this room? What can you give? You know, whether it's a 5-minute favor of somebody, if it's as Alex outlined, you know, putting in a good word for someone who's looking for a good job. What can you give? Because I can only imagine that if all of the incredible women that are in this room gave just a little bit more over the next year, where we would be at the 5th annual holiday dinner. With that, I just want to thank my fellow recipients, everyone in the room for being here tonight. It's an incredible, incredible honor, and it means so much to me. So thank you very much.
Duca, Matt, our sponsor.
I did it. Apparently no like that.
Congratulations again, Lindsay, and thank you for being here. I'd like to introduce our next presenter, Mr. James White, Senior Vice President of IGF Sports. James has worked very closely with our second honoree, Jen Lau, throughout his 14 years at IMG. He has worked directly with her on countless properties and watched as she developed fantastic programs that have fostered her talent. There's probably no one who's seen the impact that Jen has had on the industry and those around her more than James. So, ladies and gentlemen, James White.
Good evening. My name is James, and I am Jennifer Lau's office husband. And I obviously got the better half of that deal. All kidding aside, I've had the pleasure of spending the past 14 years working side by side with Jen and building the action sports division within IMG. Her extraordinary dedication, and passion for the business of sports, media, events, entertainment, it have been a key driver in the growth of our division and the success that we share with ourselves and our partners. behalf of IMG and for all of us who have worked with Jen, I'd like to thank WISE for honoring Jennifer with this prestigious award. And congratulations, Stephanie, and Lindsay as well. This is a really fantastic evening. Jen is passionate, dedicated, brilliant, and organized. She is tireless, always striving to learn more and apply those learnings for the betterment of any project. Jennifer Lau is an icon in the action sports industry. Jennifer grew up in California's Central Valley. I want to welcome her brother and sister and aunt here. And that's the kind of indicative of the Patrick, Helen, and Amy. And, that's indicative of the kind of family support, that and dynamic that fosters talent like Jennifer's. What kind of parents would support someone getting into sports marketing? I couldn't even explain to my own family what it is I do. It took 27 years of this stuff, and I still don't get it. But maybe that's me. But anyway, that's the type of support. But that's why we did Jen. Jen was a solid student at Tokay High School and lettered in basketball for the Tokay Tigers, and don't let the size fool you. She had a mean outside shot. Jen graduated from Cal State Long Beach with a degree in sociology in 1996. She quickly took a finance position at T. Rowe Price until she was snatched up by CAA as part of a newmedia.com cooperative with Intel. Always strong with numbers and a penchant for digital and new medias. For those of us who know Jen very well, it's easy to see how these stops along the way have added to the skill set she now has and how she leads us today. In November of 2000, IMG hired Jen away from CAA as a sales and marketing assistant, and it didn't take long before the Action Sports division recognized her talents, and we stole her from them. And since that time, she has built dozens of events and series. Target Beach Bash, the US Open of Surfing, the Australian Open of Surfing, Escape from Alcatraz, LA Fashion Week, the Early Pro, the Soul Bowl, and so many more. She's completed numerous consulting assignments and produced hundreds and hundreds of hours of content in the action sports space, both online and television. Of course, we've spent countless hours on many projects and events that have never seen the light of day. I don't know how many late nights doing that, but she has never given up, and she has led her teams tirelessly always into the next challenge. This woman can do it all. She's a rare find, and she can package, she can sell, she can do media planning. She understands PR. She's great at sponsor activations. She's an excellent event manager. She's a great leader. She executes flawlessly all the time. And she can wrap up an event and tell you what kind of value it brought you. Who can value what we do? She can. So, it's amazing. One of the most impressive things I like about Jen is her ability to dive deep into any sport, any industry, any marketing vehicle, new technology, a person, you name it. Jen is a maven, an early adopter with a voracious appetite for information and knowledge. She can easily speak in acronyms about webcast production and coding and distribution and tell I don't even understand what she's saying half the time. But the guys on the other end of the phone, on the opposite side of the table, certainly do. They get it. I'm simple. I don't know what CDN means. I don't know all that stuff, but she does. She gets it. She's learned that as we move action sports into that new paradigm. She can recognize the face of a supercross athlete and knows stats, knows sponsors. And I've never seen a guy without his helmet on, but she has. And she knows as we dive into that sport. She appreciates Kelly's credit and what it's done for surfing, but Jen knows his role. But she doesn't, okay. but then she knows what her girlfriend does in her business and understands why her swimwear business is doing well, and against the backdrop of all the other swimwear businesses. It's insane. Jen can curate the music for the US Open as good as any talent agent for a major firm. She just knows. When we were working on the Rob Dyrdek, cutting Rob Dyrdek launched Street, there's 24 pictures of the would-be street skaters. And she could name them all by name just by looking at their face. I knew Shane, it's you. And she knew them all by name. It was fascinating. That's Jen. As one of the other VPs at IMG has commented, Jen's layered knowledge for our business is clearly the result of a deep passion. I agree. I would also comment that Jen is very aware of the often chameleon-like nature of IMG within all these sports and niche industries, and how success is tied to authenticity, knowledge, and appreciation. As Vice President Jennifer Lau is a fine teacher and mentor. Over the years, she has taken the static IMG corporate internship program. Raise your hand, I'm an IMG internship program, and turned it into a dynamic and beneficial teaching tool. It is not about licking stamps or mind-numbing research, but a complete immersion into an event or project, supported by a job description based on an interview with each candidate. IMG Active Sports Internship Program is now one of the most sought-after internship programs within the world of IMG. We have interns from all over the globe. Many have gone on to great jobs inside of IMG, outside within our industry, and beyond. I can honestly say that Jen has created the template for our team. In fact, it's safe to say that Jennifer Lau is the template for all strong executives in any field. She is highly knowledgeable and always wanting to learn. She's strong in definite force, but always. She's strong in definite force, but she's kind and genuine. Best of all, she's always in, ready and willing to take the next challenge. You picked the right gal. Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Lau.
Wow. 14 years in 5 minutes. This is a big deal for me, and having you stand in front of you guys, hey, it's a rarity. I'm usually behind, I'm usually on the other side, helping out, as you all see, I'm Olivia Pope 95% of the time. I needed Olivia Pope today. But first off, I wanted to thank the Women of Wise for this award and recognition. It means so much to me to be recognized for the work that I do. Lindsay and Amy, congratulations. I am so honored to be sharing this award and this evening with you, and I'm looking forward to being on the advisory board and kicking some ass in 2015. 14 years, as James just went through very quickly in 5 minutes. It's been a long road. And when I started as a sales and marketing assistant 14 years ago, I had no idea what I was signing up for. But the long road had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of projects that never got greenlit, but many projects that we've been able to produce. And through the laughter, through the tears, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. IMG has afforded me the ability to go to locations in cities I would never have dreamed ever. Leaving Central Valley 20 years ago. I've been able to connect with brands like Red Bull, like Fox, and many of the other brands here in this room where I might not have ever had thought of 20 plus years ago when I left for college. And more importantly, as even Lindsay had mentioned earlier, it's about the connections that I've been able to make over my 14 years at IMG that have impacted me. I am being honored as a moment of inspiration, but
I cannot go on through the night without thanking the team at IMG for helping and shaping me to be who I am today. Jay Ogden, Mark Rubin, you guys have been some of my greatest supporters and advocates. My team back there in the corner, yay! Thank you for always being my peers and my coworkers. Erica, Mommy Al, you are a force to be reckoned with. But more importantly, again, 14 years with James Light, I have learned a lot about sports marketing and the event industry. James, your dedication and patience in teaching me the tools of the trade have made me become the woman and the woman in business that I am today. And more than anything, IMG fosters an entrepreneurial spirit. There is no opportunity that is out of reach for anyone at IMG. You adopt that same philosophy. You've encouraged me to reach for the stars, to pursue and chase any idea or concept for our division. That comes with trust, and the trust that you had in my ability to take a project or an idea to the next level is something that you can't buy. It's priceless. And because of that, it fosters an environment of self-discovery. And as a woman in business, like any of us in sports, we all want to reach and push and innovate. That's what IMG and James, through your mentorship, has been able to provide for me. Through that life of self-discovery, in my self-discovery, I found out that I love building teams. I'm a teacher. I love connecting with people. I love connecting with interns. I love connecting with my peers and talking about aspirations and dreams and new ideas and concepts. That fuels me. That inspires me. And because I was afforded the ability to chase my own dreams and I had a platform and the autonomy and freedom to do that, that is the management style that I have. And that's the type of team environment I like to foster. And as our events grew, we realized that, or I realized through my teaching, that there's nothing more rewarding than watching someone attain their goal or succeed at something that they thought they couldn't do. There are many of you in this room that have interned for me, that have worked with me, whether I have worked with you or for you, that I've been able to connect and be inspired by. So tonight, I realize that my impact that I want in sports is to cultivate a new generation of talent. Talent who can charge and chase for their own dreams without hesitation and reserve. Talent with a strong voice to elevate themselves and ask for what they want. And cultivate talent who will help pay it forward and teach a new generation of women to be better. So thank you everyone for this amazing award. I am truly humbled and very gracious in receiving this, so thank you. Congratulations again, and last but not least, I'd like to move on to my third presenter, Sean Eggert, Head of Sports Marketing for Red Bull North America. Sean comes to us with a little bit of a different relationship with the third round of this evening. He was actually hired by Amy Taylor 5 years ago in 2008, and has really had the opportunity to learn from Amy and be a direct recipient of her mentorship, probably even more than she knows. Sean's witnessed a true leader in the industry. So, Sean, please come on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll add my congratulations to the other award recipients tonight. Obviously, a true inspiration, and congratulations. So, as many of you know, Amy needs no introduction, but seeing as I'm already up here, we'll grab a bit of pride and do some sort of message to her. I'm really grateful to be here tonight. I really appreciate the work that WISE does within the field of sports and events. Obviously, I lead the sports endeavors for Red Bull, but it's a position that I wouldn't have if it weren't for Amy. The fact that you hired me obviously shows very poor judgment on her part, but we'll move on. But whether she knows me or not, she's been a mentor of mine since my early days at Red Bull. As this organization is a lead voice and a resource for professional women in sports business and events, it's only natural that Amy be honored here tonight. Amy is passionate. She's an incredible visionary. She's a constant professional. She's lighthearted, maybe somewhat funny at times. She's extremely loyal. She's a fighter. And she's incredibly humble. Probably a little embarrassed right now. But what defines Amy is that she's a true leader. Amy encompasses the definition of a leader as someone who has the capacity to turn vision into reality. Seems to be a common theme tonight. As this is a way of capturing, she has an amazing way of capturing her team and making her team follow her. She has an infectious nature of Amy that has made her a true standout in the field of sports and events. She deals in reality with a strong commitment to influence the consumer through meaningful and very related activities. This is one of the many traits that sets her apart from her peers. She trusts her team, places a high priority on how tasks are executed, which set the standard for our brand within the sports landscape. Prior to joining Red Bull, Amy held lots of positions, namely the Atlanta Hawks, which produced events. She also produced events for the Atlanta Olympic Committee. In 1999, similar to the dinosaur at Red Bull, Amy started to use her passion and her experiences and her sense of sound strategy to become instrumental in leading the Red Bull brand and positioning in the United States. Most notably, she launched the U.S. arm of the global endeavor, the Red Bull Media House. She has accomplished and spearheaded some of arguably the most influential and impactful marketing campaigns in the U.S. over the last 5 years. So Amy is a true inspiration to the Red Bull family, and I know many of you in here as well. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Amy up and congratulate her.
All right. First of all, congratulations very much to Lindsay and Jen. I do not appreciate that you guys violated our agreement that we would stand up here and hold hands and do this together. I am an introvert and an extrovert package, so I'm actually just going to leverage this platform for a confession. And so I know it might be a little bit more traditional to say some thank yous and such, but instead I'm just going to tell you a dirty secret about myself. Now that I got your attention, first of all, I really do want to give a sincere thanks to the WISE organization. Just the idea that there's an organization that centers around women in sports and events. It actually makes me think a little bit differently about things, and I'll explain what I mean when I get into my confession. But the idea that you consider me a woman of inspiration, first of all, makes me nervous because I'm not really sure what exactly I inspire in other people. Hopefully most of it is positive and mostly legal. But, we do have a budget for bail funds and such at Red Bull, so sometimes that goes sideways. So, whatever I've inspired in all of you, my apologies. And hopefully, the marks were not too deep. But sincerely, I want to thank Lindsay and Jennifer. I think both of you guys have some amazing words for us up here. Really inspiring individuals, very humble individuals, very accomplished, and to hear them get up and share a little bit of themselves and who they are. It's really just kind of setting me up to say, hey, wow, now I got to follow these two. And then also just to hear Sue speak. I think you said so many different things, Coach, that I related to, and the one that you said the most is that, you weren't picked first, and you weren't always the most talented, and I was actually never picked first, not even for kickball or anything. I was an athlete. I ran track, I ran cross country in college, and actually a little bit beyond college as well, and
The way that I always define success is with people that are more talented than I am. And that's still actually how I define success. So you notice that as Sean introduced me, he didn't say anything about my education or anything like that. That was by request. So my goal is still just a punch above my weight, and you guys can let me know at the end of the evening if I'm still punching there. So, okay, so now on to the confession part. So my confession is that in my professional life, which has been around 20 years, and hopefully I'll look a little younger than I am, but in my professional life, I actually haven't had much of an appreciation for initiatives or organizations that are specific to women. And I know that sounds like a very strange thing to say in this setting, but just don't throw me out quite yet. I actually, for myself as an individual, I didn't really like the label. I didn't like the segmentation. I just wanted to, by the way, since asshole has already been said, I'm going first too. Thank you. I really just wanted to be surrounded by people who get shit done. And I didn't really think that like the segmentation of the fact that I happened to be a woman was relevant. So in my 20 years, I didn't really appreciate those types of initiatives. And frankly, even in my 20 years of experience, I didn't engage them either. And so that's sort of the background of context for the woman of inspiration. Do I still get the flowers at the end? They look kind of, is that a yoga mat? Okay, thanks. Okay, good. But, so I did basketball stuff, Olympic stuff, and then I started working for Red Bull. And it was dudes all the time. It was dudes in flannel, and I worked with the dudes, and I was one of the dudes, you know. And I will say that there was never a disadvantage, nor an advantage for me as a woman. It wasn't something to leverage. It also wasn't something to apologize for or make up for. I didn't have to try harder. I didn't have to use dude language. There wasn't some sort of like secret club that I wasn't in. I didn't get a nod or not get a nod or anything like that. It was just really never an issue. And I think the thing that's worth mentioning about the culture of Red Bull is that it is a true a true culture of meritocracy. So it's like if you get shit done, then you get shit done and you move forward and help other people get shit done. And we actually have this, one of the few, I think, like corporate vision statements you can say with a straight face, because I think it's true, is that Red Bull exists to give wings to people and ideas. And I can actually say that with a straight face, because that's what we do, you know? We give wings to people and ideas. And I stand here like after, 14 plus years of Red Bull, and I'm like, man, people actually gave me wings, you know? It's true. But it has been an environment of inspiration and risk-taking, and we really do have a line item for bails and fines. I mean, we do. And so all these years we've been really worked to empower others to make amazing things happen, and that's athletes and opinion leaders and things like that. And then all of a sudden, in the latter parts of my years there, I realized that applies to employees too, you know. And so I'm so grateful to have been kind of mixed up into this crazy environment that we call Red Bull, and I suppose now we call it a company and an organization as well. I mean, it's been a great experience there. In the last 13 years, we've done all the typical marketing stuff, blah, blah, blah. You're probably, familiar with some of that stuff, but we've also done some really weird stuff, like launched a media company and sent a dude to the edge of space. And in the early days, we were figuring out what this YouTube thing was, and I think we sort of figured out how to work in that space. And I've been blown away by the talent and ambition of very, very young and inexperienced people to whom we gave a great deal of autonomy, and I think that's the secret sauce. Maybe I wasn't supposed to tell people that, but that has been pretty awesome. And but in all of these things that I have the privilege of being a part of, it has never been in the context of being a woman. That hasn't really been central to my experience. I did a little bit of public speaking and a little bit of network, but for the most part at Red Bull, we just kind of put our head down and work. Put our head down, and worked. And I've met several of you this evening that I've actually never met before, and our companies have worked together, right? Our companies have worked together for a decade. I mean, maybe you actually hate me or something from a negotiation from the past, and I don't even realize it. But we really are. Do you guys remember the part of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the whole mention of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where the perception was that no one ever seemed to come in or go out, but yet still all the beautiful chocolate kept coming forward? That's a little bit of Red Bull's way, right? We're just sort of the Oompa Loompas on the inside, and you never really see us come in or go out, and so we've had somewhat of an internally facing culture, and for that reason, I think I haven't been all that sort of forward-facing into the community that you guys have built, and the network that was described in the introduction was amazing, and I was so honored to even be mentioned in the mix there. Okay, so after all of these years in our chocolate factory, and now that I'm in my 40s, I've actually had a shift in thinking, and this is now the confession part, or I suppose I've already given the confession, and there are two influences in my shift in thinking. And this has really only been in the last 18 months, so this is a bit personal and a bit raw, but one of those influences is subtle and the other a bit abrupt, and it actually shapes the reasons why the people that are at the table with me today are here, and they don't actually know this. But I could have brought some of my members of my family, and my family's awesome, by the way. Hey, Mom, if this is on the internet. My family's amazing and super supportive, and Mom cried when I told her about this and all that good stuff, so I feel really supportive. I've also been in Rebel 14 years, so I could have, really asked several individuals that I've worked with for a long time to come and sit with me in this experience. And at the table today is actually some individuals that I've had very little interaction with and have known for less than a year. And I want to explain why. So there were two influences, like I said, where I changed my attitude toward external networking and toward getting involved in women's events. One inspiration is actually my wife, who's here at the table. And she's very humble and will be horrified that I mention this, but for that reason, I'll just keep it brief. Let's just say that in watching her work as a woman, and who I think is a woman of inspiration, she has prioritized mentoring. She has sought out people that need to be networked into an organization. She has given up her time to pull them into the organizations in which she's worked through the years. And she was actually a very early member of WISE in New York about 10 years ago, which I didn't even know until all of this went down. So she was a more subtle influence. As I watched the way that she gave up her time to other people, I started thinking a little differently about being in the context of being a woman in this industry. The more abrupt one is a more literal and very recent occurrence at work. And again, you guys don't know about this stuff. So two of the ladies that have joined me here today called me up and they said, Amy, we think we want to start an organization at Red Bull. It's a little, group thing. We want to call it Wings for Women. And here's what we want to accomplish, here's what we want to do, etc. And I gave them my speech. Come on now, guys, it's about getting stuff done. Who cares about gender? Don't talk to me about all these sub-segmentations. I don't want to hear about your disadvantages. Just go do your job. I gave them my speech. I gave them the speech so many times, right? And they were like, thanks for the support. I'm inspired. But actually, in all seriousness, Liz and Farron went away and they said, we're going to take another stab at this. And they came back to me and challenged me to think about what happens when groups that have something in common come together and share their experience around that camaraderie. That could be a passion you have, a sport that you're in, ethnic background, a specialty skill or passion that you have. It could be your gender. What happens when groups get together and share those experiences? Really powerful things. And so I say that there have been two influences in me changing my mind about getting involved in women's groups and understanding the power of embracing it as just part of my identity. And one subtle being Wendy and the other more abrupt being this group. These guys really convinced me that if we really do give wings to people and ideas, and there's a group of people within our organization who want to get together and share the common experience that happens to be being a woman in this industry, and if something good can come of that, if they can inspire one another, then let's get after it. That is at the core of what our organization should be all about. And so then just months later, just a few months later, to get a phone call to say that WISE had asked me to accept the honor of being a woman of inspiration, I'm like, man, thank goodness I got my ass kicked by like a 20-something-year-old earlier. Well, I would have been in a totally different mind space about this whole thing. So here's for table two. And I'm trying to too, he's a dude. I guess so my I don't need to necessarily have like a moral of the story, because I think sort of Sue got the moral of the story, and it's pretty awesome and very inspiring. But, a lot of times you hear in career coaching and such, you should really work on your brand, as you think about your positioning as an individual, you should maximize your strengths. And I would say you should worry less about your brand and more so be really all of yourself. Because what I have learned, halfway through my life, I suppose. Maybe I just predicted my death, I'm not sure. What I have learned fairly late in life, let's say, thanks to table 2, is that for me, being all of myself is embracing the fact that being a woman is part of my life experience. And if I can connect with people with that shared experience, then why should I rob them of what I might be able to share? And why should I rob myself of what I might be able to learn? So I would say work a little less on your brand and a little more about being all of yourself. And I think I just learned this in the last several months and wanted to share it with you. So this ends my confession. And I just really want to thank you guys for including this despite me in this, despite my bad attitude of last week. Thanks very much.
Dang, after that, like really? Like I have to follow into really? Really? All right, guys. Well, my name is Shelly Taniguchi. I am the incoming president for WISE 2014. Literally, as I was taking everything in this evening, and to me, someone asked me earlier this evening, what is the best thing that you love about WISE? I have to tell you, this is it. This is it. Because there's two things that are common things that have come out throughout this entire evening. And they are, number one, connection. Women in general, that's second nature to us. Relationship is key. Business is better when you have a good relationship, when you're looking for that win-win. That's bottom line. The second is, I am inspired every time I come here. Every person that I meet, whether it's at this event or honorees who are amazing senior level women who are really breaking the ceiling and breaking all sorts of barriers and what can and cannot be done, that they're just breaking through it. To people that I meet every day who are just starting their careers. Every person that I've met through WISE literally inspires me. Why? Because, and I think Amy touched on it, Coach has also touched on it too, it literally is the basic thing, is that there's a common language that sports brings for all of us, men and women alike. And that is the same, it's a language that we come into speaking that, at the end of the day, when you get on that team that just seems to work. You get together with a great group of people, men and women on your team, whatever it is, and you just seem to gel, right? You have a common vision, you have a common purpose, and you bring your A game. And you're not thinking about, I wonder, do I need to get permission to do this? Or, I wonder if I do this, am I going to get in trouble? You just do it because it's the right thing to do, it feels right, and who cares about if someone's done it before or not? If it's the right thing and it's going to make the change that you want to see happen, it's the vision you want to see happen, you do it. And that's what connects everyone in this room. Every single person in this room is a game changer. Every person in this room has the capacity, the talent, the absolute raw, like I can do this now, whether it's been done before or not, regardless. That is what WISE is about. That is what you bring to this organization. And so I am so very excited to be a part of it. I am very excited to see this organization move forward. And I'm very, very honored and thrilled just to be standing shoulder to shoulder with the amazing people that make this organization work and with all of you tonight. Mm-hmm. So with that said, I have one final task before two actually, so I like. So, one thing is that if you guys are tutors, and I know that most of you are in this technology day, and you're inspired by what you've heard tonight and taking photos tonight, please do tweet and hashtag WISE, WOI, Women of Inspiration, and send that out so that we can continue the dialogue, continue the conversation. My second task is, and really it's capitalizing on what Alex has really shared with us from the very beginning,
is that I kind of want to be it's like Wizard of Oz. I'm going to reveal the curtain, and I want to bring forth all of the board members who have really served, and we all have full-time jobs, by the way. This is not what we do for I would love it. If we got paid to do this, absolutely, sign me up. But for right now, we have our full-time jobs, and we do great things in our career, but this is what we do for our practice. This is a fully nonprofit board, and I think that all of us have sort of worked with, I'm sure, you work with people that you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to work with that person, but I'm thrilled to work with a board that is 100%, this is the A team. So every time I come together with this WISE board, I feel inspired. So I want to introduce this WISE board to come up. And so everyone from the 2013 board, starting from our VP Vice President, which is Allison Howard with the LA Lakers, Michelle from Gatorade coming up, and then make your way up here. Kristen O'Connor is unfortunately not here. She's our VP of Finance. I would like all of our directors, Erica Moniel, Amanda Carmichael, both of them who spearhead our WISE mentorship program. So again, mentor mentees, great program. Vanessa Shea for all of our great sponsorships. Thank you, honey. And our wonderful Vanna, who is leaving, by the way. Sarah here, who does all of our membership, so all of you who are new members. Sarah Spears, Lila Brown, who is our guru of PR, Lindsay Cornett, who also does all of our press and PR. Yes, we're all very close. And of course, my partner in crime, because I am currently serving with Sarah Musgrove, who is the director of programming for all of these things that you see here tonight. This is your board. This is why we are here for WISE. These are the talented women who, in the profession, do this every day. And when they're not in the profession, they bring it here to you tonight. So please give a round of applause to our board. I also want to take this time to bring in the new board that's coming. We have a few new members who are joining our 2014 Board of Directors. Is Alex Novak from the LA Clippers. He is joining us as co-director of sponsorship. Shauna Wong, also a professional, seasoned professional in sponsorship, coming on board as a co-director of sponsorship. And Courtney Passo is here from UCLA. She serves both in the alumni and athletics. Courtney is coming on board as our career and leadership development director. So expect good things to come from tonight. Expect good things to come, and even more so. This is going to be an elevated year in 2014. The energy and the people and the talent is here to serve you and to bring WISE into that next level. So I want to thank the board. And my last and final tribute, because literally I am stepping into incredibly big shoes. Granted, Alex Mallon, who has been president of WISE Los Angeles since 2005, I can still remember the day when my friend, who was a WISE member, an attorney, I wish she had, she really is an attorney, and she still said, hey, you need to meet Alex. Alex and I met, and literally from then, I said, after I met Alex, there's two things. One, I absolutely loved the organization. When Alex told me the mission about WISE, I said, I'm in. Secondly, I'm inspired by Alex. Quite honestly, at the end of the day, seriously, you won't go to age, because you are quite younger than I am. Young, but talented, highly talented. But literally, Alex to me was the biggest reason why I joined WISE. Because she is a leader, she knows how to pick talent, she knows how to fill the shoes, and she knows how to share the vision. And she gives you the opportunity to thrive in that vision. Speaking of Red Bull giving you wings, that's what she does. So literally, thank you, Alex, for 6 years This is really big shoes to fill, but you've really set up the Wise LA chapter for great things to come. And I have to have a shout out for all the San Diego people here tonight, San Diego Fox people as well. So while Alice has been president of WISE for the last 2 years, she has been down in San Diego and starting to build the chapter down there. So in 2014, WISE San Diego will be a chapter. So congratulations and thank you to Alice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our evening. Please continue to network, please stay and enjoy. We have gift bags for everybody, and we are known for our amazing gift bags because of our wonderful sponsors and partners. So enjoy, continue networking, and cannot wait to see you in 2014. Go Wise!
Don't forget.
The highest numbers we have is 45.